On behalf of Mountain Home, I want to express how grateful we are to reside and carry out our work in the Aboriginal territories of the Bitterroot, Salish, and Kelly's Bay peoples. We honor the path they have long shown in caring for this place for the generations to come. My name is Melissa Banks, and it is an honor to be your MC today. I am a storyteller, an advocate, and a mom. As we celebrate Mountain Home today, I want to share a story of my own that shapes the way that I relate to moms that Mountain Home serves and to all moms. I gave birth at 40 years old, and I was catapulted into one of the most traumatic experiences of my life. I could not, for the life of me, sleep. When my baby was 1 month old, I was so sleep deprived I had a psychotic break, and I spent a month in the psych ward. My road to healing was long, and along the way, I learned something in that experience that profoundly changed my life. You see, entering motherhood, I was an incredibly self-reliant being. I had experienced multiple layers of trauma as a child, and taking care of things on my own was a resiliency skill I'd picked up. And so far, it had served me well. But then postpartum hits and I lose my mind. And after a month, I'm sent home on lithium. I'm experiencing off the charts anxiety and severe insomnia while being told that if I didn't sleep, I'd land back in the psych ward. My husband, Eric, was traveling 2 to 3 weeks a month to Canada for work. So for months, my mother-in-law, God love her, my dad, God love him, my uncle Dennis, and our only two good friends that did not have husbands, kids, or pets, each stayed a night, waking throughout the night to feed Adelaide so I wouldn't end up back in the hospital. My uncle Dennis and my dad, who were in their 70s, looked like hell in the morning. My poor Uncle Dennis never even had his own children. This wrecked him. But somehow they each kept showing up week after week. I wrestled with so much shame in those months, a sense of failure. But as we found our feet again with therapy, loving relationships, and sleep, I am left 8 years later with such a deep sense of being held, of being worthy of the love that they gave. And when I think about motherhood and I think about all that it takes, I think we all need to be held. We all need to know that we are worthy. This is not a path we are meant to walk alone. This brings me to Laura. Laura Snyder founded Mountain Home 21 years ago because she knows that young moms should not do this alone. Steph Goebel, Mountain Home's ED, shared, Laura is quite possibly the most selfless person I have ever met. Her definition of family extends far beyond her blood relations. Please help me welcome Mountain Home's founding mother, Laura Snyder.
Welcome, everyone, to Mountain Home's virtual tea party. I began the Mother's Day tea tradition in my home 16 years ago with 8 guests. I have been amazed and overjoyed by the growth and commitment of our tea community and all your generous, heartfelt support for the young moms and children we serve at Mountain Home. Although the oddness of the online format is not my comfort zone, I am grateful we are able to gather here together. Several years ago, Mountain Home gave me an award. They had the mayor make a proclamation declaring an annual Homes and Hugs Day in my honor. As I guess 2 of the things I have become known for at Mountain Home over the last 21 years is home projects, remodels, additions, landscaping, organizing, as we have continued to make space to serve more families in need. And boy, do I love a big hug. A hug goes out to the folks who make our house a safe and healing home. Our staff, our board, our outgoing director, Christy McMullen, and incoming director, Steph Goebel. Thank you all for celebrating with us today. Thank you to all of our wonderful sponsors helping to make our tea possible, and this year supporting the completion of Aria Circle, our new trauma-informed childcare. You will hear more about this exciting new part of our work later in this hour. Thank you to our lead sponsor, Good Food Store, and also many thanks to all the sponsors you will see here on the screens. Special thanks to several sponsors who have supported us every year since our humble beginnings 21 years ago. Montana Cancer Specialists, Republic Services, First Interstate Bank, Community Medical Center, Garlington Lawn and Robinson, Western Montana Clinic, Mountain FM. We couldn't do what we do without all of you.
Thank you so much, Laura. Thank you for your willingness to dream, to take risks, and to look at a painful problem and take it head on. When we think of young moms and their children in poverty, even homeless, this reality can overwhelm the heart. And many look away, but not Laura and not you. Thanks for leaning in today with your open eyes and hearts. Let's take a look at one mom's journey through this beautiful animation.
Every year, Mountain Home serves more than 200 young mothers and children who are homeless and or experiencing poverty. Each family has their own unique story, and our community of care is designed to meet each family where they're at. In the next 2 minutes, we're going to introduce you to just one of the moms we serve so you can see Mountain Home in action. This is Sarah. When Sarah was young, her life was unstable. By the time Sarah was 18, she was homeless. When the weather got cold, she hitchhiked to Vegas, where she heard it would be warmer. Within months, Sarah was pregnant. Sarah was young and scared, but also fiercely motivated. She knew she wanted to give her child something better than what she'd had growing up. She hitchhiked back to Missoula, but still had nowhere to live. She slept outside almost every night of her pregnancy. She delivered her baby at the hospital, alone. Fortunately, hospital staff knew about Mountain Home. Soon, Sarah moved in with her tiny infant. Sarah was grateful for a warm place to sleep at night, but she was amazed to find that Mountain Home was so much more than a shelter. Sarah quickly began working with a therapist to help her cope with her past trauma. She teamed up with our employment specialist to find a job and for help navigating all the child care and transportation logistics to stay employed, even when things got tough. Sarah also worked with parenting coaches who helped her build confidence as a parent. Her son now has access to on-site children's therapy and trauma-informed childcare. Now, Sarah has her own apartment, her own car, and is still employed. She and her son enjoy returning to the community center for classes and activities with other young families. Sarah and her son's healthy relationship is so clear to see. His smile, Sarah says, makes it all worth it. Mountain Home helps young mothers discover their strengths and their children thrive. Explore our website or come by to learn how you can be part of this powerful community of support as a donor or volunteer. Visit mountainhomemontana.org today.
Oh my word, can you just see and feel his smile? Oh, I'm gonna get dehydrated during this event. Thank you all for walking with Sarah, for seeing her, for listening to her, for learning from her. It is my honor to introduce you to Mountain Home's new executive director, Steph Goebel. Steph comes to Mountain Home with a background in nursing, leadership, nonprofit management, communications, and public health. And she just recently became a mom, officially expanding her ability to soar at the helm of Mountain Home. I mean, because if you haven't had every bodily fluid of another human being on you in the middle of the night, can you really call yourself an expert? I think not. Please help me welcome your new executive director, Steph Goebel.
Thanks so much, Melissa. Welcome, and thank you for being part of our Mother's Day tea here at Mountain Home. I have to start out by saying thank you. Thank you to the phenomenal team we have at Mountain Home for giving me the warmest and the smoothest transition, not only to my role as an ED, but also as a new and first-time mom. On that note, it's kind of amazing how much grant reading you can get done at 2 and 4 a.m. feedings. They're no romance novel, but I've been learning lots. I'm touched to see so many familiar names on here and the text messages I've been getting this morning. And it's been a pleasure to meet some of you for the first time these first few months. And I'm thrilled to have this opportunity to introduce myself to our broader community of support, which I look forward to getting to know better in the months and years ahead. So let me start off by saying I take great pride in saying that I'm a Montana girl, born and raised, and completed my first degree here at U of M and played soccer for the Grizz. Now, I'm not willing to confess when those dates were, but even then, I recognized how supportive of a community Missoula can be. After college, I ventured out to the East Coast where I worked for the government, for the Environmental Protection Agency, and also for a nonprofit clinic there that was really focused on healthcare and housing for marginalized individuals in the DC area. After which, then I pursued my nursing degree at Georgetown and dove right into women's and children's health as an L&D and newborn RN, similar to our founder, Laura. I eventually received my MSN in hospital administration. However, after getting my fix of urban living, both in DC and Portland, Oregon, I was drawn back to the Big Sky country, not only for the seasonal activities I loved and missed, but more so because of the pride of where I come from, and I wanted to serve my people better. After living in a variety of settings, I was actually really shocked and saddened by the obvious lack of resources for Montana women and children, especially pre and postnatally, similar to Melissa's story. As an RN and a manager in a hospital setting, I saw firsthand that so many young moms and newborns were being discharged alone with no transportation, no housing, without their basic needs being met and nowhere else to turn for support. It was heartbreaking. Grounded in this experience, I knew I wanted to transition my career once again and put my efforts and energy towards an organization like Mountain Home, an organization that is not only addressing the problem through holistic and compassionate services, but is also helping create an awareness and implementing steps for prevention and healing for these moms and our next generation of Montanans. One huge benefit I have to admit from all these different professional backgrounds that I've explored is that through everyday interactions with struggling families, I've learned there's no greater or longer lasting gift than that of support and empowerment. Mountain Home continues to do this through the effectiveness of our wraparound model that leads the state in our entire approach of support. We know now that the need for these services is even greater during and after a pandemic, where housing, healthcare, employment, therapy and mental health services, childcare, I can say that personally, and just general human support are even more difficult for all of us to find. We are proud to say that our services have remained open and accessible during COVID. And I'm even delighted with a nursing background to report we are one of the only communal living settings in our region that has thankfully not experienced any COVID spread through our programming. We take necessary steps to ensure physical and emotional safety is being prioritized for our participants and our staff. We are not only honored to have sustained our services through this pandemic, but continue to grow, continue to partner, and continue to enhance our wraparound care in order to respond to the intensifying community needs we know that are out there. But more exciting updates on all of this in today's program. But before I get off, I just want to brag about the audits that we've welcomed from outside sources to help us enhance our cares and working culture. And one of those at the forefront has been our commitment to the Justice, Equality, Diversity, and Inclusion Collaborative. It has assisted us in breaking down some barriers to needed resources, helping in opening doors to opportunities, and to also foster a welcoming and inclusive culture for all the families we serve and for the staff we hire. I'm proud to report that we had 0 staff turnover in our residential house this past year. Okay, well, we had one, but she went off to get her PhD, so we'll allow that. But lastly, I want to take this opportunity to brag one more time on the incredible work that has gone into our new childcare center. We recognize that childcare is one of the largest needs across the board right now in the Missoula area. Mountain Home is thrilled to have developed a beautiful and a safe space with innovative 2-generational care. This allows for Mountain Home moms to continue to find their own independence, both academically and professionally, while leaving their little ones cared for through our evidence-based state's first trauma-informed childcare program. We recognize the need to have implemented a family-based counseling approach, and so we have, and we've already served 17 children in just 2021 through our therapy, which is pretty outstanding. Well, I'm pretty sure you all don't want to hear me gush about our childcare center much more and would rather see adorable little people thriving. So I'll excuse myself and get our childcare video up and running. But without further delay, I just want to personally thank you for your time today and for your tangible support and warmth you give us and our young moms and the children we serve. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to Mountain Home's new child care facility. My name is Laura, founder of Mountain Home since August of 2000. We are so excited to introduce you to our new program.
Hi, I'm Megan Locke, and I'm the Child Care Director of ARIA Circle. We recognized that child care and quality early childhood education was a core component that was missing at Mountain Home. Now that we are building this addition, we will have space to have quality early childhood care in conjunction with all of the amazing components that Mountain Home has to offer.
Hi, my name is Leah. This is my husband, Travis. My mother, Laura Snyder, founded Mountain Home over 20 years ago. Because of her, my father, and this compassionate community at Mountain Home, we have the absolute honor of naming their early learning center after our daughter, Aria James.
Our daughter passed away of spinal muscular atrophy at just 5 months old. Our hope for this early learning center is to provide these children with the same love and light that ARIA brings to us.
ARIA Circle is a trauma-informed model of child care that prioritizes the social and emotional well-being of young children. Unfortunately, children are not born into a world with equal opportunities, especially when there's a traumatic event that's involved. And that's why we're here, to provide an environment where they can just come into our center and be loved unconditionally. Our staff is highly trained in infant mental health and caregiving practices. We offer so many services to parents, especially young mothers.
We will be opening our new early learning center in the next couple of months. Our new facility will be able to care for 12 kiddos, including a large play area, learning center, spacious outdoor play, toddler bathroom, a couple of offices, and this will be their new nap room.
Thank you so much for considering a donation or gift to ARIA Circle. We are just so honored and excited to be a permanent part of Mountain Home.
Thank you for allowing us and our family to honor ARIA in such a beautiful way.
Thank you for all of your support through the years and in the future. Mountain Home would like to offer our deep gratitude to all the generous supporters who came together to make ARIA Circle come to life.
Thank you so much. What an incredible service to the community and the moms and families that you serve, and what a beautiful way to honor ARIA. One of the things that has blown my mind about Mountain Home over all the years, over 2 decades, is that it's constant evolution, that it's constantly looking to its moms, to its families, and seeing what else is needed, what else could they do to help 2 generations thrive. And they've never been people who've said, oh, our families need childcare, oh, they need therapy, well, they can get that somewhere else in the community. No, instead they create it, and they create it so beautifully and powerfully and even cutting edge. Thank you so much, Mountain Home. In this next piece, I'm so deeply moved. Over the past 6 years, I've had the incredible honor of sharing my story with thousands of people all over the country. I have led workshops for hundreds of moms and produced several shows in which moms express the hilarity and the heart-wrench of early motherhood. One of the most incredible humans to cross my path in this work is Anna Beard. Anna is a gifted writer and storyteller. She is a wildly creative, loving, and tenacious mama to her incredible kiddos, Zoe and Dax. The capacity of her brilliant brain and fierce heart blow my mind, and every time I'm with her, I learn something that truly matters. Anna calls me her fairy godmother, and I can say that while that means I'm old, I cherish that title and all that it means. And girl, you know I love gowns and magic. It has been pure inspiration to witness Anna's dreams about working with Mountain Home come to be. Today, Anna serves on the board and volunteers with Open Table. Since working through her own experience as a young mom, she has known that she wanted to be involved with Mountain Home and empowering the community they serve. She hopes that by sharing her story, she will give other parents the space to set down the need to always be strong and permission to lean on others. She hopes that every parent who hears her story knows that they are and have always been enough. Please help me welcome Anna Beard.
I come from a long line of underqualified teenagers birthing babies in less than ideal circumstances. 11 years ago, I lock eyes with her father from across the dingy, beer-soaked trailer, and I think to myself, I could cause some trouble with this boy. Not long after, I'm breaking up with him because the only threads that tie us together are our fierce fight, our taste in cheap beer, and being the life of the party. We are joy makers. I tell him that this relationship just doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Within a few days, I'm sitting on his mattress with a pregnancy test in my lap, watching him pace the house, shell-shocked at the poor timing of my news. He tells me, "You're not ready for this, you know." Neither of us are, but I pick the first doctor on the Medicaid-approved list, and here we are. Sometimes she gets stuck in the bottom rung of my rib cage while I stare at baby-sized charts and try to map her body out in mine. I wait patiently for the outline of a hand to press against my stomach to say hello, but it never comes. My baby and I spend our last day pregnant together, drinking Big Dipper milkshakes and laying under the fairy lights strung across my room. I rub my belly and I tell her stories of all the things that we're going to do together. The birth is the easy part. We drive to the hospital in the snowy dark, full of excited chatter. When the pain gets to be too much, I ask for a shot of Stadol and for a bucket, and everyone looks at me like I'm about to throw up because at this point, it's my specialty when I've spent 9 months vomiting nonstop. No one knows what the heck I'm doing in here, so they continue to chat like it's not happening. I honestly, though, am just way too high on pain meds for this, so I tell them, please, shut up. They quiet down and I stay in my bucket. I can't shake this feeling that something bad is about to happen. Tears pool in my ears while I feel too scared, too small, and just not enough for whatever is coming next. I tell myself at least I'll be able to hold my baby so soon. The meds wear off and I come out of the bucket and try to pretend like I didn't spend the last hour behaving like an ostrich. I get an epidural and the nurses start using sugar-coated phrases and avoiding questions. We all watch the beeps and the dips on the monitor grimly together. After a little bit, they drop the end off my bed, and even though I was promised that no one without a medical degree would be below my elbows, my mom and best friend both have a knee and a front row view. After a few pushes, I feel a release in my vagina, and I turn to my friend and I desperately ask, "Is she out? Is she okay?" The look on my friend's face tells me that I have ruined sex for her forever. Another handful of pushes, and they plop my daughter's tiny body onto my chest. She arches her neck to look at me, and I am so in love that I don't realize that everyone in the room is quiet. In my peripheral, a nurse's hand reaches for my baby's arm and pulls it away from her body. Her arm falls to my stomach without a single sign of functional muscle. I just can't stop staring at those beautiful dark eyes, though. A nurse scoops her up, and my birth team, my baby, my mother all disappear down the hall where they draw the blinds to the nursery, and I am stuck in this bed. The more time that passes, the more my chest aches. Why did her arm do that? Everyone smiles at me softly, but no one says anything about my baby. Hours later, they bring her back to me in a parade of hospital staff, and the pediatrician stands between my baby and I and hands me this tiny piece of paper with this huge word on it, arthrogryposis. They tell me that they aren't really sure that this is what my baby has, but they've been looking in medical texts and they think that's what it is. I ask her if she can just come back tomorrow. I just need to hold my baby. My mom and I unwrap her and count her impossibly long fingers and her curled toes. Her legs are stuck in the lotus position and her feet cup her diaper. Her arms have no discernible elbow joint, and her wrists bend to touch her palms to her forearms. She's the most beautiful baby I have ever seen. She's all sharp knees and dark eyes. Each of those knees has these dimples where the joint has never learned to move, and they look like smiley faces. On the first night, a nurse comes into our room and she tells me all about her friends, cousins, veterinarians, favorite grocery store clerk's son who was born with something like this. She tells me that I have to be strong for my baby now, as if this is the only thing that matters. What I want to say is, I'm here. I love her. Isn't that enough? I don't want to feel strong in this. Silence lingers like a dense Missoula inversion when there is no one desperate enough to fill it. I can feel my jaw locked shut while I watch her feed and glare at all of the lights around us. Her dad sleeps on the vinyl pullout while I tuck her under my arm and we contemplate the world together, so new and bright and too much during the day, but when everyone else is asleep, it's just me and her. I whisper to her how much I love her, how I will do absolutely anything for her. At 19, I am thrown into a world of special needs parenting. Instead of growing up and spending the year after high school traveling far off places, I come to age on the stretch of highway between here and Helena, on our way to the closest ortho. My mom is the driver while I curl up in her passenger seat and rapidly rework my entire being. I have no choice but to grow up quick. Every doctor we come across tells me things like, "You're the expert," and I'm screaming inside because I'm not supposed to be the expert yet. I learn how to juggle public assistance, the tips and tricks of the underserved, stacks of applications, recertifications, rejections, and resubmitted paperwork fill our apartment just to get our most basic needs met. At first, there's a public health nurse who helps me sign up for these programs because there's no way for me to return to work as a single mom attending 12 plus appointments a week. But when she's gone, there's no one left to walk me through these services. I'm just a kid working with whatever is handed to her. Some days I am drowning under the weight of not having a safe place to heal. I scroll Mountain Home's website late at night and try to bring myself to reach out. I'm just frozen with the ask stuck in my throat, though. The few times that I find my voice, I am hushed by others who look at our situation and they just can't comprehend it. So they say things like, "Oh, but you're so strong. I could never do what you do. You could pretty much do this for a living." They think that compliments are an adequate replacement for things like food and housing stability, accessible childcare, or, a real job with just my high school diploma that's gathering dust in the corner. We have to find our own way a lot, but my daughter is gifted with the most creative, sure brain that I have ever met in a human. She always figures it out in her own time. Her fierce fight and her joy making, the best of both worlds of her father and I, it floods my world. I watch and I learn. I let go of what I thought life would look like as a teen parent, and I become the expert and the advocate. I learn how to build a loving, safe community around us, that therapy is key to making it through parenthood, and that it's absolutely impossible to climb out of survival mode alone. A decade into this feels like calm in my chest, confidence in being her parent. We are surrounded by people who believe in us, and we belong to people who love us enthusiastically. And even though I am still in it, the poverty, the remothering, the constant learning and advocating, there is a network of support this time, of safe places to land. I feel whole. I feel capable. I share this story today for every parent who had to learn how to mother themselves with a baby crawling around their knees, and who just needed to be seen or held. For every parent who thought that they had to do this alone and who ached for a place to belong. I keep sharing this story for every parent who has stories that they hold close to their chest that are worth hearing and deserve to be listened to, and just hasn't found their voice yet.
Oh, thank you, Anna. I just love you. I could listen to your story 1,000 times and hear something new, and you wreck me every time. You mess with my makeup. Thank you. Please let Anna feel you in the chat. Let her know that you heard her. And I just want to say you've taught me so much, Anna, about how to walk with a loved one in a truly supportive and empowering way. I have, like you've changed the way that I do my work, that I am a friend, that I, in my advocacy work. And I'll never be able to thank you enough for that. I think stay on for a minute, because I'd love to see you just while I introduce Open Table, because I talk about you a little bit. This is a perfect transition from you to Open Table, because, you're a volunteer there. And before I saw the incredible video we're about to see, everything I learned about Open Table, I learned from you. And you had so many incredible pieces to share with me about it. And one of the pieces that truly sticks with me is just how deeply empowering it is. And that it's not about showing up and saving a mom. It's not about like giving her just a whole bunch of advice because we know better, because I have a home or I have a car, but that it's about listening and truly deeply listening from a place of respect and from a recognition that Mama has learned a lot from her experiences, and that if there is an expert in the room about what she needs and what would feel truly supportive, it is her. And that it's about, helping her in the ways that she's voices would be nourishing to her or feel helpful to her, and recognizing just the powerful being that she is. And I just thank you for that. So beautiful. I'm humbled to introduce you all to Colby and her Open Table team through this next beautiful short film.
I have been a single mom with pretty much no family for 9 years now. I just wanted to be very cautious and not bring in more people that might disappoint me or my kids. It's very hard to ask for help. I usually am the one giving all the help I possibly can and not wanting anything from it.
I would describe the Open Table program as being a very in-depth mentoring experience that takes place over the course of a year.
Okay. Hi, everybody.
Hey, you. Open Table has been a lifeline, personally, just to have people to rely on.
It really creates a village that wouldn't necessarily happen otherwise.
There's 5 of us. With Colby, we meet every week. The opportunity for growth is tremendous, not only for the person that's being mentored in the program, but for everyone who participates.
And so it becomes just something to look forward to every week.
After we met the first time, COVID started, but we've kept with it. It's helped me open up my mind and my cautiousness. My car broke down and I called Daisy and she lent me her car for a week and a half. And then Dory today helped me go get my car.
She's taught herself how to take care of her own problems. And so her car breaks down and she gets under the hood and figures out exactly what's wrong. She's incredibly resourceful, and I've learned so much from her in that regard.
For me, having young children, I literally can go and ask advice.
We've all had our own life experiences. We all do different things professionally. We all parent in different ways. But for her to have that community on top of what Mountain Home has given her, I think really puts her in a great position.
I'm just so excited that she got this next level of support. She deserves it. She should have had it from infancy.
What we've found is that for Colby and our table, it's been more of creating friendships.
They've really helped me see what I can do for myself. And I think they really appreciate me letting them into my life.
If there was something that I wanted to say to Colby, it would be that I've been honored to meet you and be part of your life and your kids' lives. And I'm proud of you.
Since she started Open Table, I've seen her confidence just rise.
And I'm excited to see how this helps her take herself to her next fullest potential, because she's an amazing person.
It's just been really amazing to have reliable people in my life.
Oh, Colby and Colby's Table, what an incredible exchange. I'll tell you what, reliable relationships are just the bedrock of Mountain Home's magic. If you would like to learn more about volunteering for Open Table, Kat will drop a link in the chat. You can also visit Mountain Home's website. And after seeing that video and just hearing from so many of the beautiful, powerful women and Colby and seeing her kids and hearing from Anna about Open Table, all I can say is sign me up, sign me up. All right, beautiful people, up next, Skander Spies. Now, if you're thinking, hey, wait, there's no swearing at this event, let me clarify. Skander Spies is a man, a wonderful man, in fact, who got dressed up and he's bringing the tea party fanciness today, which I really appreciate, Skander. Skander is an enthusiastic Mountain Home supporter and a senior mechanical engineer. Originally from Chicago, he first came to Missoula in 2011 and is grateful to enjoy skiing, running, and climbing mountains with his wife, Abigail, and their Springer Spaniel, Jasper. I did tell Skander that Missoulians are likely to remember his dog's name and not his, but the name Skander is pretty memorable, I will say. Please help me welcome Skander Spies.
Yeah, thank you so much, Melissa. It's such a privilege to be here today and get to be part of the Mountain Home Support Network and get to just speak and share a little bit more of my story too. I'm here to talk about the opportunities that our collective donations create. And if you haven't already made a gift, thank you to everyone who already has. But if you haven't yet, I'm going to ask you to donate with me because that's what this is all about. We've seen so many powerful examples of how Mountain Home supports strong moms today. My eyes have not been dry if any makeup I had on has long been washed off. Not going to worry about that. But these examples hit me extra hard because my support for Mountain Home is really personal. My mom could have used a place like Mountain Home. Her name was Lois, and she grew up in a religious military family. She moved around a lot and ended up going to high school in Australia in the 1960s. She got pregnant when she was 19, and my grandparents were mortified. She spent her pregnancy at a convent with other young moms and some watchful nuns while her family moved back to the United States. Shortly after delivery, my oldest brother was adopted into a loving family, but my mom carried his existence as a dark secret for almost 30 years. The experience of being marginalized cemented a life's mission for her towards compassion, service, and redemption. Later in life, she married my dad and had 2 more kids. I, of course, started making trouble almost immediately, but Lois wasn't out of the woods yet. My dad passed away just before my 5th birthday, and my mom raised my brother and I on her own. We didn't have a lot of money, but my mom had a lot of faith. She had a lot of help, and we managed to thread the needle of challenges to land on our feet. As an adult, I really shudder thinking about raising 2 kids and earning a living and trying to take care of myself as a single parent. My mom died unexpectedly in 2017. And her passing made me even more grateful for the example she set in her living. Lois believed in people. She believed that everyone had the ability and the capacity to do good things, both in their own lives and in the lives of others. She knew that we all needed extra help sometimes. She lived a generosity that was contagious, even when it didn't seem to make sense. Sometimes growing up, we volunteered at soup kitchens, and I wondered if we shouldn't be eating there ourselves. She roped in friends and neighbors to cover childcare for me, but somehow knew those same people would be mentors and champions throughout the rest of my life. Lois understood how small acts of kindness could have a disproportionate impact on someone else's life. I miss growing up with my dad, but I was so lucky to have the mom that I did, the opportunities that I did. I am the 2nd generation of people that Mountain Home talks about supporting. Helping other young moms is a perfect way to honor my own. Working with Mountain Home enables those opportunities and clears some of the unexpected speed bumps that can derail a young family. I love the way Mountain Home encourages their moms to ask for help, just like mine did. The way they not only help with logistical needs, but also the emotional and educational needs of the families that they work with. From my own experience, access to opportunities has made the rest of my life possible. So donating to Mountain Home feels like offering some of what I was lucky to have for the neighbors, colleagues, and leaders I'd love to see in our community. So today, together, we can create some exciting opportunities. $1,000 puts a family in a house. And I suspect a few of you came here to do just that. Thank you. So often, though, it's the smaller amounts that can unlock some of the daily puzzles of motherhood. $500 covers a 4-month nurturing parenting class. $50 pays for a whole month of diapers. It's been a strange, hard year for all of us, but you're probably here because, like me, you've got a connection to these moms. Let's unlock a few opportunities together. Please make a gift that fits your budget today. As you make a gift or as you're thinking of someone, put their name in the chat so we can all celebrate them together. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Skander, so much. Your story is so deeply moving, and what a beautiful way to honor Lois. Thank you. Yes, please do make a comment in the chat if there's someone you hold in your mind and heart today as you're making gifts. I'm absolutely overwhelmed in such a beautiful way to share that Alicia shared in the chat that almost 100 generous souls have already donated to this campaign, and this brings our total to 17,110 already, which is absolutely incredible. I want to say a massive thanks to Dr. Michael and Laura Snyder. They made a generous pledge to match all of this year's Mother's Day giving up to $20,000, right? So it's our goal today to hit that $20,000, and you can double your impact with their incredible match. Thank you, Dr. Snyder and Laura. And there's so many beautiful comments to you, Skander, in the chat. Sarah Bush says, and the chat moves on me, every time I donate, I do so with my parents in mind. My mom helped Laura with the first mountain home house before the renovations. Oh, that's incredible, Sarah.
It's pretty cool to realize every single one of us has somebody in our lives that have been that support in a lot of ways, or maybe who we're supporting, and that we can be proud of that support. This, being part of the Mountain Home community, I feel like this is my tribe, right? Like we are the people together that really care about these moms and want to do something together. And to be part of this thing with all of you and everyone in the chat today, everyone part of this event, all the donors, it is a real privilege to have this in our community.
Absolutely, Skander. Thank you for that. That's beautiful. And in some ways, we are, all these gifts are giving that to people who haven't had that somebody, right? Who haven't had that person of support. And it's beautiful to honor those that we have had. I want to say also that there's a thank you here. Thank you for your generous investment in the lives of the young families served by Mountain Home, from Winona Bateman. There was one higher up. I'm trying to follow the chat here. Elaine Ryan, Susan Kramer, and Regan Germer, by choosing to give this Mother's Day season, you have ensured that Mountain Home will continue to meet the needs of strong moms in and around Missoula for years to come. Thank you for being a vital part of this work. Jennifer Sheets shares, I'm a new mother and so thankful for all the moms who have taken me under their wing. It is a joy, but also so challenging. I'm making a donation to show my gratitude for all the moms out there. Oh, that's beautiful, Jennifer. Thank you so much. And as you make a note in the chat about who that special person or people were that were there for you, that you're holding in your mind or heart as you make a gift today, you could also even, if there was a particular mom that you saw today or heard from today that is inspiring this gift or a particular project or program, feel free to share that with us as well. Marissa Wright says, oh my gosh, I haven't stopped crying. So beautiful and inspiring. Oh, I hear you, Marissa.
Me either.
I don't know how we're pulling this off, Skander. I feel like we deserve trophies for that we can actually even speak.
I think I did come prepared, though.
You did. You were not messing around. Absolutely. Oh yeah, Anna Beard shares tears all around. Thank you all for your beautiful giving today. And as Skander so powerfully talks about unlocking these opportunities for moms and their children for both generations, absolutely incredible. I have no doubt that we will meet that $20,000 goal today and have that matched so beautifully by Dr. Snyder and Laura. I would be surprised if we're not already there. I'm looking at another.
Annette, in memory of Bonnie Hamilton, thank you so much. And Pam Volkman, thank you so much for your donation as well.
Absolutely. And here's a thank you to Ashley Hilliard. Together, we're helping ensure young families living on the edge can survive this trying time while also empowering moms so their children can thrive. Thank you, Ashley Hilliard. Thank you to Annette Griffith. So beautiful. Thank you all so much to 130 plus of you who could join today and who gave in honor of strong moms in their own lives. We could not do this work without you. Adrina said, I popped on during lunch and now my salad became a soup. Thank you for stories of compassion. Oh, I love that. Adrina, thank you. Nancy Pickard says, I'm donating in honor of my sister, Barbara, who was thrilled to be a mother to her adopted African-American son, Malik, but a brain tumor kept her from watching him grow up. Oh my gosh, Nancy. Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. And thank you for your beautiful gift. And Diane shares, thank you, Skander. I began my motherhood journey 49 years ago and was a single mother of 3 for many years. Without my family, I don't know how I'd have survived. My strong girls are behind my donations. Oh, that's so beautiful. Oh gosh, Skander, any last words before we move to our close?
I am just so grateful for everybody chiming in, and thank you all in the chat for your donations, and in honor of so many wonderful people that you are honoring. You do them a great service.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Skander.
Thank you.
For your voice and your giving. Incredible. I'm going to share one more and then we'll move to the close. Molly Bradford. Oh, Molly. Hey, I'm donating for my mama, all of my aunts and friends' moms who were second moms growing up, for my Missoula Mama tribe, like you, Melabe. So thank you, who still hold me up. So much love and thanks to you, Molly. I love it. Keep reading in the chat. Beautiful testimonies there. It's my honor to welcome back at this time, Steph Goebel.
Thanks, Melissa. It's amazing how I helped create the Zoom and helped develop it, and I cry watching it every time. I did want to bring on Mila, and I'm proud to say that in my house right now, we have 3 generations. I have my mother, myself, and my daughter to say thank you in this time and support. On that note, we recognize the success of an organization takes an incredible amount of teamwork. Teamwork we heard about today. Teamwork and passion from our exceptional Mountain Home staff. Teamwork from our resilient moms and their kiddos and their commitment to our services. And teamwork from our greater community of support like you all. We couldn't do this without you guys. That's just a fact. All 3 of these components are obviously very crucial, so thank you. Thank you again. Looking ahead with your support, we will continue to grow our 2-generational evidence-based solutions through our peer support and positive mentorships, more open table platforms like you learned about today, continue our nurturing parenting classes, opening our doors to more children in our child care center, and welcoming new therapists onto our team. We'll continue to partner with other great organizations in the area to broaden our resources for our families. And ultimately, to continue to report amazing statistics, like a yearly average of 10 moms being reunited with their kiddos because they were provided a safe space, a strong village of support, and the tools to love themselves and one another and thrive in our Missoula community. This helps break that chain of trauma. At Mountain Home, we know the importance of continuity of mental and physical care, and will continue to close the gaps for many of our participants in reaching healthier and happier lives. Thank you again for sharing your tea and your cookies and your stories and your generosity with us. I look forward to a future with all of us together. Thanks.
Oh my gosh, little Mila, you're the cherry on top of it all. Could this get any better? Oh, thank you, Steph, for your beautiful words and your leadership. And I just can't wait for this next chapter of Mountain Home with you at its helm, you and Mila at its helm. As we close, I just want to thank each and every one of you for your presence, your heart, your mind, your generous gifts of time and money, and your deep listening. I am hugging you through this screen, hugging you, hugging you. We kicked off this splendid event by acknowledging the indigenous cultures that inhabited this land long before us. And I'd like to take a moment to just share a golden nugget that emerged from my maternal mental health work over these past few years, a piece that keeps coming up in my mind and heart every time I think about all that Mountain Home is. Over the past couple years, I had the incredible honor of sharing my story and leading workshops for moms in tribal communities across Montana in partnership with Salish mama, storyteller, and advocate April Charlo. April is a longtime friend and the daughter of the living chief, Vic Charlo. I keep hearing her voice, and I share this story with her permission, and she might even be here today. She said she's going to try and get on. We'll see. She says that Indigenous peoples can feel in their body, in their DNA, when they are mothering so far from the way that it was, from the way that it's meant to be, that for thousands of years, for eons, they mothered and parented in community, collectively, in the richness of relationships, that your child grew up each and every day with dozens of kids and was met and held and heard and kept safe by many aunties and relations. And she says now that a major part of her postpartum depression was the isolation, that she knew at a cellular level that she could not be well, could not thrive alone. And she said many times to me and the non-Indigenous people in the room as we did this work together, you may have to go further back in your family history, but all of us at one time, all of our ancestors parented as a community. This is the way a mama and her children thrive. This is the way families thrive. And as I think of Mountain Home and every beautiful and astonishing aspect of who you are and what you do, it takes my breath away. You are giving these mamas and their children, even your volunteers, that community back, that belonging that our hearts and our cells long for. Mountain Home does not simply define success within a Western framework, a checklist of check, got a house, check, got a job. Yes, these are extremely important. Absolutely. And yet Mountain Home has reframed success around relationship, understanding that mama and baby need to feel safe, secure, and valued in loving, bonded relationships. Mountain Home wraps around a mom the way her tribe, her community would, whether it's residential housing, case managers, residential care coordinators, a mental health team in the building within reach, moms being transitioned, getting into other housing, getting back into school, jobs, and more. And Mountain Home is utterly unique in the way that it brings community to meet mom where she's at. And for that, I thank you, Mountain Home. And I thank each and every one of you that were here with us today. You are a bright and beautiful and generous community. And I raise my cup to you. Sadly, we are formally coming to a close, but myself and others will stay on for the next 10 minutes or so and answer questions in the chat. Or if you'd like to ask questions confidentially or directly to Mountain Home staff, the Q&A feature is now open. And we're going to transition to a set of slides highlighting Mountain Home's impact in 2020. But the chat is open for your closing thoughts, your feelings, and to keep on giving. Thank you so much. It's truly been an honor to be with you.